Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in tonight for Deep Flow. It's nice to see you all. Feel free to be comfortable where you are. Please stay there. If you'd like to spread out any, that is also an option. Have at least one block, please. So if you don't have a block, they're just at the back of the studio.
If you don't have a block, they're all up here with me. I see they have 3 of them.
A selection up front.
I was going to use them at the beginning of this class, but I'm just busy time.
We're going to get started in a cross-legged meditation, cross-legged seat. So I would suggest just to try sitting on a block. That may or may not work for you. Personally, by sitting on a block, it allows me to feel as my pelvis kind of tips forward, dropping the knees down. So bring your sits bones close to the edge of the block. And maybe just tuck one foot in and then the next, or cross the ankles, whatever is comfortable. If you can try sort of, one foot in, the other foot kind of right in front of it for Siddhasana. We're going to find a tall spine and bring our palms face up on your lap. Option to come into Chin Mudra, joining the thumb and pointer finger. This mudra is symbolic, the circle we make, of actually the definition of yoga, to yoke, to dissolve the ego, to surrender it into our highest self. Also just the symbol of full circle and balance between opposite sun and moon, duality, yin and yang. So these two main energy channels, Ida and Pingala, representing the sun and moon. And we have the Shushuma, which is just this main central energy line that kind of wraps around our key energy centers or chakras that silhouette our spine. So our goal tonight is to invite in just that. Whatever kind of day you've had, or whatever kind of week you've had, invite yourself into this space and this time. Close the eyes or find a soft gaze down. Invite in the stillness. If it's challenging, that's okay. Just keep breathing. Continue to just notice the breath. You can start to deepen it, just feeling that nice long sort of fluid breath from the belly up through the rib cage, kind of up the spine, if you will, kind of growing us tall energetically. Each exhale, feeling that breath move back down. And we just cycle out another thought or any distractions. We continue to drink in this space and this time for this next hour while you are here. And let this be your space to declutter, to unplug, to defrag. Our theme tonight for Deep Flow is Saucha. Saucha are 8 limbs of yoga, yogic philosophy, or yamas and niyamas. These are ethical guidelines for harmonious living. And Saucha translates as purity. And we can think of purity in many ways, or purifying, as I sometimes like to think of it. So purity in terms of what we put into our bodies, but also purity in terms of what we put into our minds. And so we'll use our practice tonight to invite in this element of purification. So while we're on our mats tonight, we can invite in just this cleansing aspect to this asana practice. Invite in the space and time, this bubble, if you will, so nothing else exists while we are here. I am that, and that is all there is. So while you're here, no one else you have to be, nothing else you have to do. Let this be a very cleansing practice. Release thoughts, negative thinking patterns, ego, distractions, and tendencies. Whether it's comparison to others, or that negative self-talk that we all sometimes succumb to. any negative thoughts about your body, how it moves through its space tonight. Right? Celebrate your body, your beautiful, strong body. Celebrate your breath, this subtle life force prana within you. And we'll take a few more rounds of breath for several minutes here. So if you at any time need to switch feet, make yourself more comfortable, keep the spine long, and just continue to breathe and just notice. Your next inhale, invite in this word sat, and exhale va, sat, va. This will be our mantra repetition. So this yoga pose for the mind. Sattva, or purity. Sat, va. So I have a love of essential oils, something I do on the side. I was reading about juniper berries today. And I have a blend here which contains juniper. Juniper is known for its purification qualities. It was used by Native Americans actually to burn juniper for very cleansing or purifying sort of in rituals. Also used by the Egyptians, the essential or the oil of juniper to kind of anoint. And so if you would like, I will come around and place one drop in your left palm. So the left palm is where we kind of receive energetically. And again, this is if you would like to invite in. This is also a blend of cedar, patchouli, and bergamot with a juniper, pretty strong base. And if you would like, I'll place one drop in your left hand. With your right index finger, you can just slowly make a few circles and just sort of feel that sensation. And then just bring your left hand up to your nose. You know, even if the scent doesn't totally suit you or please you, take several breaths in and just invite in this purifying quality of the juniper berry, source of this oil, this blend. And if this does not speak to you, which is perfectly okay, place both hands down on your lap. This might take me to come around, so if you need to, again, make yourself more comfortable, any adjustments that you need to take. Start in the front, make my way to the back. Just invite in this opportunity to be still. And I'll just place one drop so it shouldn't make your hands, too oily. If you have a towel, I have tissues I can bring in too. You are receiving the oil with your left palm. Make a few circular rotations with your right index finger. That's just an energetic sort of receiving of the oils and their properties. And then just bring your left hand up just in front of your nose and just take several inhalations. And just notice, just invite in the really fascinating the history and the energy behind these essential oils of the juniper berry and the juniper plant. It's also a very grounding blend, connected to the earth element. So let the sense, again, whether it pleases you or not, let it feel, just invite in that earth element quality, being grounded, feeling stable and secure. Box of tissues that I'll place towards the right wall on this table anytime if your hand just feels a little oily from that, because there's just a slight bit of jojoba oil in it. Feel free to grab a tissue anytime if it does make you slip. And now that we've all received the oil, let's just come down to our backs. You can continue to breathe in the oil, once you're on your back, if that speaks to you. And just continue to invite in this experience with scent, with smell, with the energy of the oils. You can also place, your hand to your heart and invite in those purifying qualities of this blend of the juniper berry. And then at some point, bring your right hand to your belly. So we'll all meet with left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly. And you can bring the soles of the feet together. So we'll end up in reclined butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. At any time, if you wish, you can invite that left palm back up on the inhale to continue to invite in the smell, these energetic qualities. You can also just rest, both hands resting. We'll move into Durga Pranayama, 3-part yogic breath. Breathing from the belly, through the rib cage, up into the chest. And that slow exhale. The very bottom of your exhale, kind of draw the low belly down towards the spine. Inhale, just kind of fill up. Again, always the option to breathe in this scent. Slow exhale. A silent whisper, Sat Va. Let this time on your mat be cleansing, purifying. This is where we let go. This is where we declutter, unplug, defrag. This is where we allow ourselves the opportunity, give ourselves the permission to feel pure and whole and perfect the way we are. Just one more very pure breath in. Let your breath in itself be that element of purity, of purification. Breathe out anything stagnant, stuck, anything you'd like to cycle out, get rid of, let go of, at least while you are here. We'll take one more breath in. Slowly draw your knees into your chest. Meet a child's pose. If you'd like to rock forward and back or roll over to one side. And then come into child's pose, Balasana. So whatever transition feels good to you, to bring your knees down to the mat, open them out wide, stretch your hips back to your heels, and bring your forehead down to rest. So that whispered mantra, Sat Va. With your awareness at your third eye center. See what you see, that point right between the eyebrows. Let yourself invite in a slow practice tonight, lots of stillness and lots of breath. I think this time of year, it's a good time to mirror what is happening in nature around us. These cold days and a snowstorm, everything is kind of still and quiet after that immense snowfall. So let this just be a very grounding, slow time. And it seems as if time, especially this month, after the holidays and the new year, has just hit this fast pace, accelerated pace. So let this time here on your mat be timeless. Invite in that slowness, this connection to breath. And that third eye center, another opportunity to release any mental clutter, any thoughts, any distractions. Let it just pour out of your third eye, dissolve into the earth beneath you. Giving Mother Earth a hug here. Fold it into yourself, receiving all the grounding qualities. Take another inhale here. Very simple. Let's come up to hands and knees, tabletop pose. We'll set up for thread the needle. Reach your right arm up to the sky. So we'll kind of twist open towards that right wall. And now thread your right arm underneath you, palm face up. Bring your right shoulder and your right ear down to the mat. And just breathe right between the shoulder blades. We'll be here for several breaths. Create some space. Wherever you feel maybe a little bit of tightness, sensation, use your breath to clear out, to declutter any stress that we all carry here in the upper back. Any variations here, option to straighten the left leg behind you, to tuck the left hand behind your back, or to stay as you are, both knees connected. One more breath in here. We'll slowly come back, tabletop pose. Pause for a moment to neutralize the spine, ground yourself. Once again, feeling the palms, each hand, each fingertip. And now just take a few breaths to move your spine. Whether that's cat-cow, breathing forward and back, finding an arch and a rounding the spine. If you would like to add any other movement variations, maybe the hips kind of shift out to one side or hips stretch back towards the heels. Maybe the eyes are closed, right? That third eye awareness. And this is our time to just cleanse and to feel pure and whole, perfect as we are. We are where we are, where we're meant to be, and that's all there is in this moment and this time. Invite in this timeless state of awareness, this slowness, this meditation in movement, in breath, in asana. Let each breath in be purifying in itself. Each breath out, right? That ability to just move energy out that is stuck, stagnant, cluttered. We'll take one more round breath in whatever movements we may be in. When you feel ready, we'll just set up for thread the needle on the other side. This time the left arm will just sweep open. So just turn and face this left wall. Now we're going to sweep the left hand under the right arm. Bring your left shoulder and ear all the way down to the mat. Knees are hip width apart. And you can stay right here. You know, maybe this first variation just feels really good. Just kind of spreading out that upper back, stretching that left shoulder. You can also reach your right arm to the front of your mat, which might dip that right shoulder down a little bit. You can also tuck that right hand behind your low back, which opens up the shoulder a little bit to the rib cage. Finally, there is the option to straighten the right leg behind you, but it doesn't hover in space. Those toes are anchored and connected at the back of your mat. A bit of a twist here. Introducing some twists, very detoxifying, very purifying. This gentle compression of the back organs. Just kind of squeezing out toxins, byproducts, stagnant energy. We're using our breath to aid in this very detoxifying aspect of our twists, of our poses. Just breathing, just letting ourselves kind of be. Ourselves into these asanas that tonight we're going to hold. And just allow ourselves to do just that, to be okay with that. This slowness, this timelessness, this purifying breath, soft. Va. Take one more inhale here. We'll make our way back to hands and knees, tabletop pose, and move your spine. Maybe that's, again, cat-cow forward and back. Or tracing a figure 8-like shape with your hips, with the crown of your head, hips out to the side, gazing over one shoulder and then the next. No rights and no wrongs. Maybe eyes are closed. And let your body guide you. Let your breath guide you in terms of how to move here, where you just kind of feel that movement through your space, and you feel that essence of working something out, decluttering, unclogging, defragging, however you want to put it. And it just simply feels good. And that's why we come to our mat. And when you feel ready, we'll meet back in a downward facing dog with no rush in getting there. Let yourself feel complete. When you're ready, we'll stretch our legs long, so we'll tuck our toes, stretch back, bringing ourselves into this upside down V shape. And let's explore a little bit of stillness here. So first, let's just peek forward. Make sure our wrists are nice and straight. So our middle fingers are facing 12 o'clock. We're spreading out our fingertips so we can see mat between each finger. Our pinkies are out pretty wide towards the edge of our mat. Arms are strong. Spread out the upper back. Let your head hang heavy. And wrap your biceps in towards one another. Beautiful. Nice work. And just feel stillness here. Feel grounded. In the palms of the hand, the soles of the feet. Close the eyes or gaze right between your big toes. Just explore how this feels. It might be physically a little challenging. Over time, it becomes a pose of rest, but just notice. We'll take one more breath in here. Now walk your hands back to meet your feet. We'll come into ragdoll, which is a forward fold at the back of our mat. Bring your feet out hip width or shoulder width or even mat width apart. And hold on to each elbow. So cup each elbow with opposite hand and soften your knees as much as needed. Invite in this heaviness for the head. Let it dangle, let it drop. And if you move side to side, let it be slow. Pleasantly heavy. We continue to release any stress, the weight of our worlds that we all carry, whatever kind of week we've had. Let it just pour, roll right off your shoulders. Let any thoughts, any distractions, anything we're ready to release and let go of, drop right out of third eye, out of the crown of the head. Let your eyes rest deeply into their sockets. And just enjoy the simplicity of being in a forward fold. Sat, Va. Release your hands down to the mat. Bring your feet hip width apart. And here, let's take a halfway lift. Press your hands firmly into your shins. As you press, shoulders down the back. Spine is long. Legs are engaged here. Reaching through the crown of the head. Flatten out your low back. Take one more breath in. And release right back down. Knees soft. Head heavy. Keeping head heavy. Arms heavy. We're moving to elephant. So we're going to stay rounded in the spine. We're going to stay strong in the core. Imagine a cord from your belly button. Staying rounded with heavy head, heavy fingers and arms. Round yourself like halfway up. Feel that movement through space, this pleasant heaviness. Strength from the core. Knees are soft. Slowly lower back down like you had magnets from your fingertips that connect you. Halfway lift, rounded halfway lift. Fingertips heavy, fingernails heavy. At your pace, slowly connect back down. Again, fingertips, magnets to the earth. Do this a couple more times. And with your breath, we round up, we move slow. And the exhale, we connect back down. This time, on the next rolling up, we'll come all the way up to mountain pose. Take your time, move slow. So you can just feel yourself in space. We slowly come up to standing. Roll your shoulders down your back. Spread out the four corners of your feet and close your eyes. Or perhaps your just gaze is down and soft right in front of you. Imagine you're squeezing a block between your thighs. Just stay energized and engaged through the legs, strong in the core. As the shoulders press back, we grow a little taller through the crown of our head. And we feel energy here, even in our fingertips. Face is soft.
Inhale, reach your hands up overhead, extended Tadasana. Let's pause here, bring your feet to touch. Bring your right hand to the sort of outer edge of your right leg and stretch your left arm up and overhead, staying strong in the legs, equal weight in the feet, maybe a slight twist gazing under the left arm without any tension creeping into the face or shoulders. Take one more breath in. Reach your right arm and hand back up overhead, and left hand connects to the side body. Right hand stretches up and over, standing tall and grounded. Inhale. Exhale. Reach your left arm back up overhead, extended Tadasana. Interlace fingers behind the low back. Inhale, lift from your heart, like there's a string from your heart, kind of lifting and pulling you up. And fold forward, soften your knees, hinge from the hips, and release. Stretch your hands up overhead. If that's too much on the shoulders, you can release the bind. Take one more breath in, right between the shoulder blades. Lightly connect hands to the mat. Walk yourself forward to a modified plank. So palm after palm, we come forward. We bring our knees down to the mat behind our hips, so it's not quite tabletop. Scoot your knees back. Shoulders are stacked over the wrists. Bring your awareness to your core. Just stay strong there. So kind of tuck the tail under. We're strong in the arms. Inhale forward. Slowly lower all the way down to the earth, to the belly. Straighten your legs behind you. Let your forehead connect down. Keep our palms right underneath our shoulders. Keep your forehead down to start. Pick up your right foot, just a couple inches at most. Stretch your toes towards the back of your mat to get some more length, and then set that right foot back down. Left foot picks up. Reach back. Connect the left foot. Now root your tailbone into the earth. Fire up the legs. Cobra pose. Lift your head and shoulder. So tops of the feet can stay connected in Cobra. We're strong in the legs. Now lift your head and shoulders. No wrinkles in the back of the neck. Yeah, just gaze right in the front of the mat. Down for Cobra all the way down, all the way down. Lift your kneecaps. Yeah, that's it. One more breath in. Release forehead to the mat. Tabletop pose. Press up. Hands and knees. Cow pose. Inhale. Lift your tail. Lift your chin. Open the chest. Cat pose. Start at the tail. Round all the way into child's pose. Stretch your hips back towards your heels and melt into your space below. Into the earth below. Sat. Va. Back forward through hands and knees. And then downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Stretch back. Let yourself be still here. Give yourself that permission. And just notice. And notice where you are. Invite in this opportunity. Give yourself permission. Come into the bubble. Let this be pure, for you already are pure and whole and complete as you are. This time let's bend our knees, look forward, and step to the top of your mat. We'll come back to a forward fold here. Walk your feet out to 10 and 2. We'll come into Malasana, wide squat. So scoot the feet out, 10 and 2, drop the hips down, and bring your hands to heart center. You can also sit on a block here, or even 2 blocks. Let's try to adjust the feet so you're nice and flat. Make sure it's not okay on the knees. You can also opt here for, hero's pose. Just gently press your elbows kind of into the knees. Kind of lift through the spine, open through the chest. Again, sometimes a block can just help that spine get a little bit more long. Close the eyes. Mula Bandha, lift the pelvic floor like a sling. Just kind of lift up. Okay, we can lock in that energy at our base or root chakra. We'll take one more breath in here. And we'll just lower down to our seat. Extend your legs out long in front. Coming into staff pose, Dandasana. Place your palms down into the mat right beside your hips. Really press down.
Stay strong through the legs. The heels might even slightly lift. Bring our awareness to our core, that solar plexus area, Manipura chakra. So kind of draw your belly muscles back towards the spine. Mula Bandha, perhaps lifting the pelvic floor, again like a sling, just pull up. Palms gently continue to press down, so shoulders stay plugged down in the back. And crown of the head continues to grow tall, and there's no tension in the face. Maybe eyes are closed, simple but active, engaged, grounded, strong. Inhale, sat. Exhale, va. Take another breath in here. On your next inhale, reach your hands up for the sky. Grow tall in the spine. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Pause about halfway down. So we're leading with the heart, and the spine is long. We're creating a diagonal line through the crown of the head. Staying strong in the core, light in the face. Take another breath in here, and now surrender. Just tuck your chin into your chest. Maintain that energy of the heart forward, but we can close the eyes here, retreat in, bring that awareness in, third eye center. And massage the back side of the body, the legs and the back with your breath. Breathe deeply, let the whole body breathe here. One more breath in. Slowly, let's lift up into a reverse plank. First, we'll start by planting our hands down. And we're going to lift from the heart. Again, that string from the heart that was like pulling you up, arching in the upper back. You can stay right here. Or if it feels appropriate in the shoulders, lift your hips off the mat. Strong through the legs, energized through the toes. And you can gaze straight ahead at the ceiling, or with a long neck, maybe the gaze floats a little bit back, all the way. Take one more breath in here, and slowly lower back down. You bring the right leg slightly out to an angle. We'll tuck the left foot into our inner right thigh. We'll square off to face that right leg, so stay nice and energized, toes flex up. Inhale, reach your hands up overhead. Again, grow tall with breath. And we'll fold over that right leg, head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. The same energy of the heart pulling forward, but tuck your chin into your chest, maybe close the eyes or soften the gaze. And just breathe into the back side of the body. Let your hands just connect wherever they may, whether it's the legs and the foot, the side of the leg to the mat. One more breath in here. Slowly we'll bring ourselves up, coming to a wild thing variation, side stretch. Stay as you are in the legs. Plant that left hand down right behind your left hip. We're going to stretch our right arm up overhead. And you can stay right here, breathing to the right side of the body. If it feels okay, once again, we lift the hips up and we continue just to stretch that right arm up and back. Maybe just gazing over the shoulder or up underneath the arm, breathing some space into the right side of the body, and that connection and support of the earth below. Take one more breath in. Slowly lower back down. From here we'll come into our twist, so foot back into the inner right thigh. Bring your right hand to your left knee and reach your left arm straight out in front of you. And we're slowly going to twist open towards the left wall. Follow that middle fingertip. Continue to reach all the way back and place your fingertips right behind the base of your spine. Like a kickstand, press your left fingers down to elongate through the spine. So bring your hand up even closer this way towards your hips. Yeah, very nice, gorgeous. So hands connect down, left hand connects down, press down like a kickstand. So bring your hand right down, even closer and popping it towards my finger here. Yeah, now press down to rise up. Maybe we're gazing over the left shoulder, twisting out
you can relax deeply into the twist. We'll take one more breath in and slowly come back forward. From here, we're going to make our way back to down dog. So one option is to cross the legs, roll forward, ground the hands, and step back. Or come to hands and knees off to one side and stretch your legs long. Explore any movement now in your down dog that feels good. So maybe walk out your down dog. Drop down to child's pose. Spinal movements, cat-cow. Maybe lifting one leg at a time, kind of stacking open your hips. Let your mat be your canvas. Here to move in a way that feels good in your body. Invite in that freedom, that awareness of how to move, because there is no wrong way except if it doesn't feel good. Continue to breathe deeply. Let each breath be pure. Each exhale, releasing something you do not need while you are here, that you are ready to set yourself free of. Take one more breath in here. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. And no rush in this transition from down dog. Bend your knees, look forward, and step back forward to the top of your mat. Into a different variation of squat. Bring your big toes to touch. Hands come down and bring your knees out wide. It's almost like a frog-like variation. So toes are together, heels are lifted, knees out wide. And you can stretch your arms kind of out in front of you and tuck your chin into your chest. Another option here is to reach your hands and kind of cup them behind your ankles. Brings a little bit of stretch into the shoulders, a little bit of balance. You can also rest the crown of your head to a block or to the mat. Again, hands, arms can also be stretching out in front of you, a little bit more support, and just tuck your forehead in. Sometimes when we reach back, it's just like we're curling ourselves up into a little ball, like a little tiny tree frog, and we're just tuning everything else out. And we'll take one more breath in here. And slowly, mindfully lower your hips down to the mat. Bring your feet together. Soles of the feet together. Coming into tortoise pose. We'll continue to withdraw now into our shell. So stretch your feet out in front of you like a diamond, a long diamond-like shape with the legs. Soles of the feet are together. Now we're just going to work our hands, if you can, underneath, kind of cupping your ankles. So forearms kind of underneath the calves. Wherever you grab hold here, not forcing it, but once again, allow your forehead to draw in, tucking your chin into your chest, tuning everything else out. Coming into the shell of your tortoise. Not a shell of escaping, it's a shell of awareness, timelessness, connecting to what is already pure and whole and complete within you. And we do this by inviting in the stillness, the space between thoughts, through our poses, through our breath, our pranayama, through our mantra, Sat Va. We draw in and we tune everything else out. Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. Next inhale, massage your whole spine. And we'll slowly rise back up, coming out of our shell with this perspective. Setting up now for reverse table, bringing soles of the feet down. Once again, we bring our hands flat underneath our shoulders, behind the hips. Option to stay grounded, again, lifting, arching from the upper back. Feel that string from your heart. Stay here or lift your hips. So nice strong tables. We're solid in the front side of the body. Maybe the gaze stays straight ahead, up towards the ceiling. Or with a long neck, kind of gazing back behind you, if that feels appropriate. We'll take one more breath in here and slowly lower down. one vertebrae at a time, extending our legs back long in front of us. We return to Dandasana stacked pose, planting palms down, strong in the core, growing tall through the crown of the head. Maybe eyes are closed here, a very soft gaze. Mula Bandha, lift the pelvic floor. Uddiyana Bandha, draw your low belly muscles back towards your spine. We lock in these stabilizing sort of lower chakra elements and energy. We continue to feel that rise up through the heart, right to third eye. Take another breath in here. Your next inhale, again, reach your hands up for the sky and hinge forward. Come back to Paschimottanasana. Lead with the heart. Pause about halfway. So the heart stays lifted, we find this nice long diagonal line of our spine, grounded through our sits bones below. Take another breath in, and just find that element of surrender, although we continue to lead with the heart. Tuck your chin into your chest. Sat. Va. Let's take one more inhale here. As we release on the exhale, bringing our left leg out just a bit to an angle towards the left corner of your mat. Tuck your right foot into the inner left thigh, and we'll square off to face that left leg, sending some energy sort of through your toes, through that leg. Inhale, reach your hands up overhead. You go tall with your breath. Energize through your fingertips. And now fold. Again, energy of leading with the heart. So fold over the left leg, head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. Tuck your chin into your chest, and wherever your hands may land, keep that left leg active. Keep the heart kind of pulling you forward. Soften the face. Tuck your chin into your chest. Let your breath massage underneath your left leg, your whole back side of the body. Taking one more breath in. And release coming up. Keep your legs right where they are. Come into that wild thing variation, side stretch. Right hand connects kind of right behind your right hip. Left arm begins to reach up and maybe overhead. You can stay low or rise up as long as that feels okay on your knee and on your right shoulder. Reaching that left arm kind of out in space. Breathe some space into the left side of the body. Let it feel good. Right, opening up some channels. Take one more breath in. Slowly lower back down, setting up for our twist from here. Bring your left hand just to the right knee. And again, this time the right arm, just going to reach it forward and follow with a tall spine your fingertips as you gently swing around to the side wall, all the way to the back. And now plant your right fingertips as close as you are able towards your low back, the base of your spine. And maybe tent the fingers and gently press down to keep that spine long, chest open. And we're gazing really all the way over the right shoulders. Find your growing edge and breathe there. You close the eyes. Have the ability to relax deeply into the twist. Benefits. Detoxifying this is. Using the breath to continue to aid in that process. Let's take one more breath in. Slowly come back through center. Extend both legs long in front of you. We're going to set up for a supported fish pose. We'll need one block. I can come bring you one if you don't have one. So supported fish pose. We're going to place a block underneath us, and basically we're just going to lay over it. If it feels good, we're going to stretch both arms up overhead. So adjust your block so when you lay down, short edge is right at the bottom of your shoulder blade tips so that your shoulders, your chest just kind of relax over the block. Now if it feels okay, stretch your arms up overhead.
You can also have your arms at your side. That is just a little bit too much, and I can bring you a block if you do not have one. Okay, you can kind of adjust where the block is. It might feel, it's a block, so it might feel a little uncomfortable. Find that right spot here. It just depends. That looks pretty good from what I can see. Really, to the top of your shoulder blade tips, yeah, up there. And now maybe try stretching your arms up overhead so that doesn't fall out. If this gets too intense in the shoulders and the chest, arms can also just be at your side. If the block is just too intense underneath you, you don't need to use a block here. Maybe just stretch your arms up overhead or come back to your reclined butterfly. Find even more release. Even if there's a slight bit of discomfort, no pain here. Just a slight bit of discomfort, maybe having the edges of the block underneath you. Any micro adjustments. So that really is a tremendous chest opener. We won't be here too long. Durga Pranayama, 3-part yogic breath, belly. Feel your ribcage expand out up into the chest, especially in supported fish. Feel this expansive breath and opening, purifying breath. Our saucha, purity, mantra, sattva. Especially in your ribcage. See if you can feel them almost expand, sort of open up out sideways, and just that gentle and natural kind of closing back in as you exhale, or just squeezing out breath and stagnant energy. Take one more breath in, 3-part yogic breath. Fill up, empty out. We'll all remove the block, so sit up just enough to set the block aside, and we'll just roll right back down. And using that same block, we're going to set up for a supported bridge pose. So now we're going to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Now we're going to bring the block underneath our sacrum, so really low. And it can be on its low, medium, or even its highest setting. So you can kind of play with how high you want that block. In low, medium, or even the highest, and it's right underneath, real close to kind of the tailbone, low back area. So we're not back bending over the block like we were in restorative or supported fish pose. The nice thing about using a block with bridge, you really feel that low back release. Suggest maybe a little bit lower, just from my details. That feels great. Does it feel pretty solid in there? And since you're on the high side, personally, I like turning it a little bit. Let's put in the short edge so it can lift up. Like, I don't know, because I feel like having years. Yeah, I don't know, I like that better. So you can play with it. It's up to you. So we're just going to play with that block adjustment. Should feel very stable and like very much on a support, an extension of the the earth beneath you. Let yourself be supported here in bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. Again, 3-part yogic breath here can really feel your belly fill up. Feel that breath from the belly fill up, move it through the rib cage up into the chest. Can you cycle out? Does that feel okay? Invite in a soft smile to your face. Feel this essence of pranayama, breath control. It's control of subtle energy. Open up channels, purify with your breath. It's a very subtle but powerful practice to clear out, to invite in not only more oxygen, but to bring that awareness up. Third eye center, the gateway to our highest level of awareness and consciousness. By this opportunity to go in. Now you can stay here. If you'd like to come into more of an inversion, if you're on the
highest setting, turn your block back down to its low, maybe medium setting. Don't ever want it to feel wobbly underneath you. And now you can extend your legs up. Use the block here and just play with a supported inversion. Now in your supported inversion, allow your legs to feel kind of heavy in space. Really make that effort. Again, you can adjust your block where it is. Allow your toes, your legs feel pleasantly heavy in space, almost effortless. And if you'd like to move to the wall, legs up the wall, it's a great place to experience this practice. Let your inversion just be very calming, a very peaceful part of your practice. And to move things in the opposite direction, flushing out our systems, a sense of overall clarity and well-being to the mind, bringing that blood flow up, revitalizing for the legs. Feel your relationship to space. Taking one more breath in here, or even several more if you'd like to stay in your supported inversion. No rush. If you are ready to exit, bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat. Set your block aside and move into your Shavasana, final relaxation pose, corpse pose. If there are any final movements, let you know that your body's just asking for a gentle twist now that we're on our backs, or kind of hugging your knees into your chest, a happy baby pose. If you are ready to embrace this final pose of surrender, inviting in the stillness, stay in your bubble. Let the pure simplicity of Shavasana envelop you, feeling its bliss, its peace. We release the breath. We are effortless. Just allow ourselves to just be in this state, timeless awareness. slowly begin to bring our awareness back. Wiggle toes and fingers. Draw your knees up into your chest. Rolling over to our left side, we'll rest here for a moment, fetal-like pose. So tonight, as we hold here in fetal, moving from corpse to fetal, we embrace the spirit of newness, of a new cycle, a new start, with this next breath in, newness. Bringing ourselves up to a seated pose. Sitting nice and tall. Welcome in the effects of your practice. So in the spirit of Saucha, purity, I'll invite you to take a moment and just think of, maybe it's the first thing that comes to mind, maybe not, something that you're ready to release yourself from, that you're ready to just let go of. Maybe it is something that came up today. Perhaps this week could be something very small, or it could be something big. When I was studying my yoga teacher training program at an ashram, we had a purification sort of ceremony, if you will, each week, and it was very ritualistic. We were encouraged to write something down, and maybe it was the same thing every time we did it. I don't know, because you don't share this with anyone. I only know what it was for me. But maybe it was always something different depending on the day. And then we were encouraged to write it down and to burn it. Something very purifying about, this act of burning and releasing with intention, just as we burn candles, incense. So I've put a piece of paper. We're not all going to burn here in the studio. That was just my contribution. But I'm going to encourage you to write down on that piece of paper whatever came to mind for you. And I encourage you to fold it up and take it with you and burn it when you get home. Maybe light a candle first. And the idea is, with intention behind it, you are releasing, right? You're saying to yourself that I release myself from, no matter how small, no big, no one's going to read it. You don't have to do it. If you want to take it home and think about it, or maybe while you're here in the moment in your practice, write it down, fold it up, take it with you, and with intention, burn it safely. I'll give you a final moment. And again, if nothing comes to you right now, no worries. Just take this piece of paper home with you, blank, and think about it. It doesn't have to be right here in this moment. When you've released or written what you'd like to release down, we'll come back to a seated meditation, bringing hands to heart center. No rush in joining me here at Anjali Mudra. As we bow into this purity within, knowing that we are pure and whole and complete as we are. We honor this and feel connected to this purity, this saucha. And we just plant the seed for our activities, if you will, whether it's the food we eat, the drinks we drink, the people we surround ourselves with, what we read, what we watch, how we think. Notice how this affects this purity within you. Maybe on your piece of paper, if you haven't already, it's just one thing that you're ready to release and let go of, that you know it does not sort of support, feed, and nourish this saucha within. So We'll close and seal in this practice and our intentions by chanting Om one time together, inhaling. Draw your thumbs to third eye center. Connect here. You can always come back here. Even if it's just a few moments when you're not on your mat, to close your eyes and go in. Find that stillness, that space between thoughts. And close by honoring that light within, that saucha within. And we honor it and see it in others. As we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Each week, Deep Flow is a different theme, different sequence. We pull from yogic philosophy. That piece of paper, please take it with you. If for some reason you leave it, I won't read it. I'll just throw it away. I'll burn it for you. But take it with you, light it on fire, and maybe just think about if you enjoy that process. Maybe just something you do when you feel like you need it. Any questions, let me know.